With our immense potential in renewable energy, it is the mission of the government of Lesotho to connect the nation to the renewable energy. It is the mission of the government of Lesotho to attract new industries such as data centers in the Kingdom of Lesotho. And it is ultimately the mission of the government of Lesotho to be the net exporter of renewable energy into the SADC Power Pool. Those are our three main objectives. And energy remains part of the government of Lesotho's top priorities. This platform comes at a defining moment, not only for our energy sector, but for our country's developmental trajectory. Energy is no longer an infrastructure issue. It is our economic development agenda. It is our social matter, and it is our national transformation critical agenda. Without reliable and affordable energy, we cannot industrialize. We cannot fully unlock investments. We cannot deliver services at the scale and quality our people deserves. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, electricity access has improved over the past decade, with national access now estimated at over 54.2%. We cannot be proud about such a number. It is still very low. However, due to the growth of economic activities implying power demand growth, we may not necessarily be proud of that level of access. Besides, the rural access remains considerably low, still below 50%. At the same time, our economy continues to rely heavily on imported energy, amounting to 50% of our peak demand, leaving us exposed to external shocks, price volatility, and potential weakening of our currency due to import-export imbalances. This reality is not sustainable, and therefore we require urgent transformation. It is precisely why energy sits at the center of our national priorities, including in the National Strategic Development Plan, NSDP2, which calls for transformed economy supported by reliable infrastructure and our nationally determined contributions, NDCs, which commits us to a cleaner and more resilient energy future while combating climate vulnerabilities that still affects our people and our infrastructure. In response to the situation, among other efforts being undertaken, Lesotho has joined the continental efforts such as the Mission 300 platform, an initiative aimed at accelerating access to electricity across Africa and mobilizing investments at scale. In the same vein, to ensure security of energy supply and to curb this access gap, the government has increased efforts to attract private investors in generation. And today, we have, among others, two major investors, namely the 𝒂𝒊𝒕 Energy Incorporation, intending to invest in the generation of 1,200 megawatts of base load from Kubong Pump Station, a 122 megawatts of hydropower from Senqu Cascade. This investor himself is in the room with us. Secondly, we have the US-Africa Trade Desk that has already entered a contractual agreement with LNDC in producing 155 megawatts of solar as phase 1. As you may already see, Such amounts of power may go beyond the current domestic needs. To this effect, both investors have committed to construct data centers that may consume about slightly 500 megawatts. An optic fiber from Lesotho data centers shall be laid and get connected to the undersea cable in Durban. The surplus power, after fulfilling domestic needs through LEC, shall be exported to South Africa and to the Southern African Power Pool. This is a historical investment level Lesotho has ever witnessed, and we should be proud of, not only because of its existing investment levels, but also the level of interest and confidence the investors are having in our country and the potential that we have. Furthermore, through the Ministry of Energy and Mining, as well as other partners, including the World Bank, the European Union, the African Development Bank, and other partners, are working hard to direct the potential investors to Lesotho, including the American Embassy, the EU. The government of Lesotho has committed to achieve universal access by 2030. Important to note, however, is that considering that we remain with less than 4 years to the target of timeline of 2030, this is not business as usual. We should take action. And therefore, unconventional commitments, enhanced speed and delivery must be factored that define our path today. These are not just commitments on paper or speech. These are signals of intent. They are statements of direction. The real measure of our progress will be in delivery. It will be in projects implemented. It will be in renewable energy generated. It will be in households connected, businesses powered, and jobs created. This is why this dialogue is very important.